Hello. The amount of 70s and 80s bikes that are coming back into fashion these days is ever growing, much like the cafe racer craze. Do you remember the monkey bike from the 1980s? Well, to buy the new monkey bike now, you're looking at £3,500. That's a lot of money. Well, Bullit have an answer for that. And today, we'll be conducting some tests and checking out 2 bikes from Bullit. So let's roll the intro and get cracking. So please be upstanding for the Bullit Heritage 50 and the Bullit Heritage 125. A few years ago, SkyTeam used this design and released it as the Dax, and then the SkyMax, and Zeths did the same with the Hunter. Well, Bullit have it now, and they've released the new and improved Euro 4 version. So let's compare some specs. Well, the 125 engine is a Honda Cub-derived unit, like you find in the modern pit bike. Both engines are made by Zhongshen, a company who provide many Chinese brands with smaller capacity engines, and they even have their own very successful race team. The 50cc has 4.3 brake horsepower and 1.4 pounds-foot of torque. The 125 has 8.3 brake horsepower and 6.8 pounds-foot of torque. The monkey bike has 9.2 brake horsepower and 8.1 pounds-foot of torque. That means the 50 will do 28 miles per hour, restricted, and the 125 will do around 55. And the Honda has been estimated at 65. However, the Honda does weigh 107 kilos, whereas the Heritage 50 weighs just 82 kilos, and the 125 a mere 84 kilos. So I can't see acceleration being that different. Unfortunately, we don't have a Honda monkey bike here to test with these, but we can pitch these two together. But before we get to that, let's check out some more specs on these. Well, the 50 uses a disc front brake and a drum rear, whereas the 125 uses discs front and rear with a combined braking system using a bias box. Now, both the 50 and the 125 use the same 160mm front disc, and the 125 has a 160mm front disc on the rear as well. Now, these two bikes are the same dimensions, of course, just under 1 metre tall, which is a few millimetres shorter than the Honda, 620mm wide, or 720 with the mirrors, which again is shorter than the Honda by 35mm, and less than 1.5 metres long. Now that is 250mm shorter than the Honda. And they have just a 730mm seat height, again shorter than the Honda by 46mm. They have a 5.5 litre fuel tank with an MPG of around 120. That is fantastic. Now, Honda claims to have an MPG of around 189. I have serious doubts about the validity of that figure. They are, of course, quoting WMTC test mode conditions, which is in a sort of test environment lab thing. So, I don't know. Tyres are 100 or 3.5/10, front and rear on both the 50 and the 125 Bullit. Narrower than the monkey bike, but let's be honest, perfect size for this bike. However, there is a difference. Blockier Yuanxing tyres on the 50, but more road-style Tim Sun tyres on the 125. Both have twin rear shocks and standard front forks. One superb feature this bike does have is the folding handlebars. Now, that means it gives you the ability to make it smaller, stick it in your car, your boat, your caravan, your motorhome, or whatever else you take on holiday with you, and then just whip it out when you get there and take it for a jaunt. much fun to be had without worrying about dragging your caravan behind you and clogging up the roads for normal people. Now, the original 1970s and 80s monkey bike had the folding bars and did look just like this one. However, the modern version seems to have lost the ability to fold the bars with just a traditional handlebar arrangement. It also has a very high price tag, which means, and I'll tell you the prices of these more specifically later, but it does mean that you could buy this and the 125 for less than it costs to buy one Honda monkey bike. Oh, by the way, the duck doesn't come with it, that's extra. Okay, so now it's time to start them up, have a listen, and then begin our challenges. Challenge 1, the getting it through a door challenge. So, challenge 1 complete. Yes, you can get it through a door when you fold the bars down. So, challenge 2 is the slalom and turn in a box challenge. So let's give it a go with a 50 to start with. I don't know why I did that, sorry. Try number 2. Well, he cheated, but he didn't hit a cone. So then, let's see if he can do it with a 125. And go. What are you doing? Attempt 2. Jerry feels he can do this, so he wants one more try with a 125. And we'll tell you why he's struggling in a moment. Oh! Now, I know I'm not wearing full gear, but I'm wearing gloves and helmet. So Jamie has challenged me to have a go to see if I can do it. So let's give it a go, shall we? So as you can see there, not quite as easy as you might think. Now, Jamie did that in second gear on both bikes, whereas I did it in first gear. Now, Jamie was saying in second gear on the 50cc, it's much easier because obviously a low speed at 50cc is not too bad. And it's got quite a close clutch. So it's like first, almost immediately second at that low speed, so you can turn quite easily. On the 125, you should traditionally be doing more speed before you're going into second. So you've got to keep the revs up a bit more, and the clutch has a longer draw. So it's not quite as simple, and it goes clutch, 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 and then it goes. It's okay when you're riding, but not quite so much when you're doing low, slow maneuvers. Now, the difference between him and me is, as I say, I was doing it in first gear. And the problem with that is that I was going quite slow and I wasn't doing very well. Let's be honest. The balance for me wasn't too bad. I found the balance okay, but obviously then I let the clutch out a bit too quick. I wasn't used to that clutch. That's the first time I've ridden it. Not that I'm using that as an excuse, and not that Jamie had any practices at all. No. But there you go. It just shows at that low speed you can do quite close maneuvers. And even if you do make a little mistake, it's very easy just to put your foot down. You haven't got to worry about dropping the bike. They're not heavy. You haven't got to worry about falling over. Really easy to control, really easy to maneuver. So kudos to both of them, really. They're both fun little bikes, as you can see. Even if you make a little mistake, they're fun to ride. So then, let's see what they're like actually on the road, shall we? So what are they like to ride? Well, what's your opinion?
I quite like them. They're funky, fun little things.
50 or 125?
Obviously for me, 125 is great. That was surprisingly quick, to be honest, for what it is. 50 is a 50 at the end of the day.
That's exactly it. Now, it is restricted to 28 miles an hour. Not that you can de-restrict them, of course, if you're 16 years old. If you're an adult and you tell your insurance company, then you can. Yeah. Other than that, don't do it. However, I think they're both fun. Yes, of course, this one is the choice for me as well, simply because it's a 125 over the 50. But these are great. And I'll tell you what, if you're not careful, you will wheelie that pretty easily. Yeah, they are fun bikes. They're great to look at. I mean, even sitting up there whilst we're waiting to start filming, there's people going, oh, look at that, look, it's a monkey bike. So they're instantly recognisable. People love the look of them. They're fun little bikes, and they are really practical. And I think especially if you want to nip through the traffic on your daily commute, or if you want to take it on holiday with you, perfect. Of course, we don't recommend you dismantling it, putting it in a suitcase and taking it abroad. Probably not a good idea. Might be a bit heavy for the plane. But other than that, fantastic.
I was surprised as well for how small they are with the fold-down bars, the way the bars come up, how easy they are to ride as well. I mean, it's so, you know, because it's just so easy to turn, because it's so lightweight and small.
Yeah, I didn't have any issues going around that roundabout. Bear in mind, we're on new tyres in the wet. I didn't have any worries about it slipping out.
Yeah.
It feels fantastic to ride. Really good handling. Really impressed with it, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just built for motorhomes and stuff. It is a brilliant learner bike. You know, it really is easy to manage, easy to use. Fantastic.
Indeed. I mean, we've just sold one to a lady in her late 60s, possibly early 70s. I wouldn't dare to guess. But she wanted something because she's quite short in the leg that she could get on. Got on this perfectly. Loved the feel of it. Loved the look of it. And she's gone for the 125. Bearing in mind that, you know, she's used to being on the back of a Triumph.
Yeah. And it's just that little bit different as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the run-of-the-mill motorcycle, is it? It's just slightly different.
Exactly that. Exactly that. Great bikes.
Agreed.
So at this stage, please put your comments in the comment section below. Let us know what you think. Have you got one of these? Have you got the original monkey bike? What do you think are the differences, apart from obviously these are more modern and better brakes, probably better suspension, better engine. Yeah, everything's a bit better. So yes, please leave your comments in the comment section below and let us know what you think. Do you want one? Do you have one even? Please, type and stuff. Now, before I move on to pricing, I do want to mention that, don't forget, these are both fuel injection engines. They're both the modern EFI 125 and 50. And the 50, now, being geared, you would think, oh, really? Being geared? Pointless? Well, on a lot of 50cc's, as you come off the clutch in first, you're pretty much wanting to go into second straight away. Whereas with this, I think because of its weight and because of the size of the bike, you can do a little bit more in each gear. And I think it feels to a better ride as a geared bike than another full-sized geared 50cc.
Yeah, I mean, it rides nice. Can't fault that.
You know, if you know what I mean by that, it's, you know, a geared 50cc is like, this, it feels like you can go a little bit longer in each gear. That's what's impressive, I think.
Like a real bike.
It works, yeah. Yeah, it works well. I don't know how it would work as a twist and go.
You lose even more power through the automatic transmission, which on the 50s, obviously, you want as much as you can because they don't have much in the beginning. The 125, though, yeah, I'll be okay.
So there, just wanted to add that. Right, prices. So how much are they then? Well, the 50cc is just £1,599 on the road with a 2-year parts and labour warranty. And the 125 is just £1,849 on the road with a 2-year parts and labour warranty. What a fantastic price. Now, yes, the monkey bike does have ABS, but is ABS really necessary on a bike this size? And does that justify the double price tag? I'm not so sure. In fact, I'm more than not so sure. No, it doesn't. That's a lot. Now, looks-wise, I think these are absolutely brilliant and spot on to the old 80s monkey bike. Personally, I think a much better looking thing than the actual modern Honda monkey bike. And the other added bonus is that these, like the old monkey bike of the 80s, have the double seat with the double pegs. So you can get 2 people on it, whereas the modern monkey bike by Honda only has 1. So you're on your own. Billy-no mates. This one, you can take your wife or girlfriend or boyfriend or significant other with you. Or your child, perhaps. So therefore, you could say these are half the price, but double the pleasure. I have to thank Jamie for that line. He inputted that. Well done, Jamie. Great addition. Anyway, you can get the original DAX monkey bike from Honda, but you'd be hard-pushed to find one under £2,000. And I'm not sure that a 40, 50-year-old bike would stand up to today's modern riding. I don't know, what do you reckon? Especially considering there's not a lot to them. So I don't know, what do you think? Would you prefer to go for an 80s monkey bike because it's a Honda, or go for these? Personally, it's a no-brainer. I think for the modern engine, the modern looks, everything else modern, modern brakes, exactly the same looks, just because it's got Bullit on it and not Honda, I would 100% go for these without fail. So really, all that remains for me to say is, well done, Bullit. I think they've actually made a fantastic move going for these. They've broken into the market where it left off in the 1980s, and, you know, retro is all the rage. So there you go. If you want one of these, please look in the link below where you can get them from Lightning Storm Motorcycles. Used to be AR Motorcycles, now Lightning Storm Motorcycles in Lowestoft. Yeah, I know that's my place, but, you know, I'm just reviewing them. And we like to do honest reviews, so we pick negatives as well. Should we pick a negative? Let's pick a negative. Okay, the negative of this is... tyres. Make the tyres slightly wider. No, they're all right. Mirrors. They're round, and I want square ones. Now, I am well aware at this point that there's going to be people typing as we speak. I know a negative comment, they're Chinese. But come on, it's 2020. We should have moved on from that now. Yes, I know, not all Chinese bikes are good. There are some bad ones, and they did have a bad reputation. But don't forget, when Japanese bikes first came out, they had a bad reputation, and it took them a while to get a good reputation. Chinese bikes were rubbish, I get that. And there are some brands that are still pretty rubbish, but a lot of them have completely changed. They've really moved with the times, they've really ramped up their technology, and they've really improved their quality. So come on, pick another comment. So that brings us to the end of this episode of Motors for the Masses. Thank you very much for joining. I'll be back again, along with Malcolm or Jamie, I don't know who, when we'll be doing more reviews on more stuff. And that brings us to the end of this episode of Motors for the Masses. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back again soon with more bikes, more cars, Mac, Erinka, Bob, and all the other gubbins. We've got some more bikes coming from Honda as well, and lots of other stuff. So please, until next time, ride and drive carefully, but have fun. Bye-bye. That was weird. Bye-bye.